So I broke down in the middle of nowhere almost. The nearest town is 5 miles from here. We broke down at this rest stop. I just stopped to take a break and try to start it when I was ready to go, and it clicked once. And an important note is, if your starter just clicks once, it's not your solenoid, your starter's out. If it clicks a bunch of times, like click, 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 it's your solenoid. But in this case, it was the starter. So I spent the night, and now it's time to change the starter, and I'll show you guys how to do it. Okay, today I'm going to show you how to change a starter on a 1996 Ford Econoline 5.8. Step 1, remove your power cable. Step 2, locate your starter. But first, remove the housing to your engine. And the starter is right there. That is your starter. And there's 2 bolts. There's this bolt, and there's a bolt underneath I've already removed. And then you want to remove some power cables, which I've already removed. Step 3, you want to try to get a starter that you can exchange. That's like a rebuilt starter, so you can have a core charge. This is my starter, and it's gonna fit right underneath there. This is the bolt to the starter, one of the bolts. There's only 2 bolts. You're gonna need, for a 1996 5.8 Ford Econoline club wagon, you're gonna need a 1/2 inch. And we got that. All right, this is the fun and easy way. You gotta crawl all the way underneath the van. And let's see, that's 1 bolt I got out. And then there's this bolt, which is a little tricky because you don't have a lot of clearance. Try to use something like this, like leverage somehow if you can. So this bolt is stuck right here, so if you get a bolt that's stuck, be careful. You don't want the bolt to break off. You don't want any problems. Just spray it with WD-40 and hammer a little bit. Don't hammer where any tools where you're gonna strip it. You know, you don't wanna strip this. Just hammer on the sides. It gets the WD-40 in there, and it breaks any rust or any resistance that there is. And just hammer it. Be patient, and it'll break. It'll break loose. So I got it broke loose.
You just defeated a freaking 30-year-old nut.
Yeah, this nut has been on here for 30 years. That's a long time. This is as you can see, this is the original starter. And we're just gonna get it off, and I'll put a new one in. Stay tuned. All right, got the new starter in. Make sure you tighten and torque these bolts very tight to proper torque specifications. I would say about 140 pounds, or maybe just 120, because there's a lot of torque and a lot of force that goes on a starter. And then next we want to do the electrical connections, which are right here on the solenoid. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of engineering, which is okay, as long as you understand the function of everything. Okay, you can see on this right here, this is a solenoid ground right there. But on the old one, it fell apart. It was a clip. So I'm gonna have to splice this and attach it to this ground. As you can see, right, where is it? Right there. And we'll get that. Because on the old one, it was this, and on the new one, it's like that. So, we'll get that done really quick. And I'll show you. See, we're getting there. Just keep, use a knife or whatever you got to splice it, if you have to, because this is an old starter. So, I got it crimped. That's all you need to do, just a little bit, not too much. That way you don't have to tape it up. And because this is a perfect crimper, because this starter is so new that they changed their little technology a little bit. It's a bolt-in ground instead of a clamp, and this was a clamp. So we're gonna put this in here and then clamp it and connect the battery, and then we're good to go. So we got it crimped in there. You want to squeeze as hard as you can. It's good and crimped. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Bolts are tightened. Make sure everything's really tight. And everything's good to go. Check all your bolts. Check everything, like tighten it, retighten it, check it. You don't want to have to crawl back underneath here. Because this is a, as you can see, this is a very, very tight space. The frame is literally on top of me.
Coming out?
Yeah. And we're gonna slide out and crank it up and hope to God it cranks. Okay, step one, first things first. Anytime you're gonna work on your vehicle, disconnect the negative or positive cable. Next step, you wanna put your terminals back on. This whole process should be pretty quick and easy. Put the starter in, and we're about to start it. We're about to crank it up. Go ahead and record on behind it. There we go. All right, so I don't think it's the ground wire. I'm gonna replace this solenoid and see if it works after that. They're negative, and then we're gonna, this is a 14 millimeter. I'm gonna remove the positive first, and then the negative. And then after that, we're going to remove these. What is that? The bolts. This only has 2 bolts holding it. Right there and right there. Something to remember is keep track where everything connects so you don't lose an idea of how everything connects. This is your negative right there, and these two I believe are positives, what it looks like. And then I got 2 more little bolts. It is a 5/16. And you might have to use a swivel. On this side, on this bolt down here that bolts the solenoid to the frame, you have to use an extension and a swivel. On this side, you just have to take the extension and swivel off and only use this, because it's the only way you're really gonna be able to get in there and tighten it. And that's just some technique. Okay, we got everything on. Everything's tight, ready to go. We're gonna hook the battery back up, put it in its place, and then try starting it.
Okay.
All right, let's start it up with the new solenoid.
Okay.
All right, it turns out it was the solenoid. So we put a new solenoid on there, a new starter. First I thought the starter wasn't good, the refurbished one, so we brought it back. Got our money on the exchange. But it wasn't the starter, it wasn't the refurbished one anyways, the one I just put in. And it wasn't a ground wire. That's why I put this ground wire. I thought it was a ground wire. But it turns out it was the solenoid the whole time, right there. So we put the new starter. The van needed a new starter. Starter probably went out. It looked horrible to begin with. It was burnt. But all right, that's how you put in a starter and a solenoid. All right, awesome. That's that. So it works. You heard it crank up. There's your new starter. Everything tightened, ready to go. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like it, subscribe, share. I appreciate it. And I hope this video helps people out. Later. P.S. Don't forget to put your shroud back on your solenoid. It keeps it from overheating.